Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, a lot of craziness is happening today. A lot of craziness. It's hard for me to keep up. But what we have here is a lot of interesting stuff. Apparently, they're going after Elon Musk's life again. Tesla is being attacked. They're threatening Elon Musk. It's just a constantly thing, and Tesla's being under attack. I think these leftists have honestly really gone on insane. They have lost all ability to rationally think, which they never were able to think to begin with. But they have lost every ability to remain calm and not be violent. Well, less violent. And now that they're increasing their violence because they see nowhere else to go, and this is their only way to try to solve the problem. What we have here from the New York Post is saying troll arrested for threatening to gut Elon Musk and parade his corpse through the streets. It says an Indiana man has been busted for allegedly threatening to gut Elon Musk and parade his corpse through the streets. David Allen, June Cherry 28, sent at least 5 threatening posts on X in response to Musk, leading to the Tesla CEO contacting police in Texas earlier this month, Indiana's police reported in a statement on Facebook. The posts were sent from the account affected upon connected to a business owned by Cherry and which has been suspended by X. We're gunning you down, Muskrat, Cherry allegedly wrote on X on December 6th in response to a post from Musk commenting on the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson 2 days earlier. I've got enough bullets for this, yeah, and all the rest of you man children, says the person that is literally crashing out and threatening to kill somebody, but I digress. I guess who's the real man child here. It says, he is reported to have written in another post dated January 22nd, responding to a post by a controversial influencer Andrew Tate about Musk. On February 3rd, he reportedly sent 2 threatening posts to Musk, one reading, you've broken the law, you're on the hit list. You're robbing the American people, we will gut you and parade your corpse through the streets, he wrote in a second post. Yeah, it sounds like a very lovely individual. Says, I'm going to plant a giant bomb in Elon Musk's house. He wrote in the final post, dated February 16th, 2 days before police in Texas contacted their Indiana counterparts. After receiving the post, state troopers obtained a search warrant to ping Cherry's phone and showed her he was close to the town of Clarksville on the border with Kentucky. Under questioning, Cherry confirmed that he had posted on the account in question, according to a signed affidavit from February 18th. Cherry said he had made the post to be edgy and that he had never intended to do Musk any harm. Right. Because we're going to trust you leftists and your insanity here, right? You guys have proven time and time again that you're extremely violent. You're not kind to people. You've committed so many of these school shootings that is unfathomable to not think otherwise that you're the source of these issues. And you continue to be violent and lash out on people. So what are we talking about? We're not going to talk about the summer of love that set half of the country on fire and the many protests that happened. We're not going to talk about the immense amount of crime that you guys have committed in the past times. The one video where I saw you beat a man practically to death and left him dying on the street. No, we're not going to talk about these things, right? The things that you guys have done consistently the past half a decade almost. So miss me with that BS, because that's not something that I am going to toil with you people. You guys are monsters. You guys are dangerous. You are violent. And you need to be held accountable for your actions. Death threats does not mean that's your freedom of speech, all right? When you start doing death threats towards people, your freedom of speech ends there. Plain and simple. He pleaded not guilty to one count of level 5 intimidation and was released from jail after posting a $2,500 bond. Supporters of Cherry said he is a hardworking family man who was arrested on bogus allegations on the morning of February 18th, according to a GoFundMe set up to raise money for his defense fees. Right, because, bogus charges, labeling threats, death threats to people is a bogus charge, right? Like, you just go and do that. Let me go just threaten somebody out in the wild and then have that call the cops and me not be arrested for an actual death threat. You can't just go out and death threat people. But, of course, these people are on the left. They're the insane people, right? Says the GoFundMe says that this is the reason for Cherry's arrest, but doesn't mention any of the X posts which feature in the affidavit. Of course not, because why would they? It would make them seem like they're the bad guy, and they have to be the good guy in this situation, right? Cherry's attorney said he plans to fight the charges using the First Amendment, which the First Amendment does not defend, by the way. What they say he did is just made some statements. So whatever that's the case, statements. No, they were directly toward Elon Musk. They weren't just statements. They were directly targeting and saying Elon Musk. There was nothing. He said this is what he was going to actually do. That's the whole criminal charge. The First Amendment is always the most important. But the prosecution says Cherry's alleged crossed the line. So you have no greater right to possess surface-to-air missiles under the Second Amendment than you do to make sure threats are under the First. So every constitutional guarantee, and we take on oath to uphold those, they all have certain limitations. So yeah, that's what's going on here. But it doesn't end there, guys. It doesn't end there. Because what we have here from CBS News, which we trust this news organization with a massive grain of salt, because they are practically a conspiracy Democrat propagandist news site, goes on to say here that Massachusetts Tesla charging stations intentionally set on fire, investigators believe. They say that police in Massachusetts say 7 Tesla charging stations were intentionally set on fire, and the incident is being investigated as suspicious. At this point, it does appear that it was set fire, said Littleton Fire Chief Steele McCurdy. The fire Monday around 1 a.m. at the Point Shopping Center on Constitution Avenue in Littleton. The charging stations are located close to several businesses, including the tavern, in the Square restaurant, and a Market Basket grocery store. Suspicious fire at Tesla charging station, and more. These are all things that are happening here, right? So, yeah, guys. So they're just setting blazes to Tesla charging stations now, right? This is what's going on here. And, again, we have this here from the Pension Western News saying someone deliberately ruined Tesla charging station in Osoyos, or whatever, how you pronounce that. I'm not going to try to pronounce that again. So, it says here a Tesla charging station in the town Osoyos, or what have you. That's the end of that, because okay, all right, we're done with that. It says has been wrecked by someone who filled the unit and connected with insulation spray foam, rendering the unit useless. Resident Jasmine King noticed the vandalism at the Tesla charging stations located at 8513 74th Avenue. She believes the vandalism is motivated by a hate for electric vehicles. Well, I don't think it's by a hate for electric vehicles. I think it's hate for Elon Musk. And that might be the actual reason here. It definitely is frustrating that lengths go through a slow hatred towards EVs when seeing some cut before. Again, Elon Musk. So, it says here, the government announced that last year that it's phasing out new gas-powered vehicles by 2035. The operative government, et cetera, which is whatever, right? I don't think electric vehicles or anything of the sort should be forced onto people at all, period. I think people should have the ability to choose between a gas-powered vehicle and an electric vehicle. And, you know, I'm a muscle man. I am a gas-powered man. So I'm going to choose my gas-powered car almost every day of the week. I like hearing that roar of the engine, not the squeak of the actual electric vehicle that makes stupid sounds, right? So, be as it may. So that's what's happening here. But there is more going on here, right? Because apparently, according to Dana Fisher here, a leftist socialist, is saying that apparently the Democrat participants in the recent People's March endorsed political violence, a rise from 8%. So I don't know what else to tell people. Let's go with this.
Who had basically knitted these, they did the same pussy design in red, white, and blue. And they're like, this is American. Resistance is American. And I was like, you know what, ladies? I love it, right? So that was great to see. But what I also asked these people, and these are like, your middle-aged, engaged people, most of them. And I'm highly educated. And I asked them, this question that we adapted from a national survey. And the question was, to what degree do you agree or disagree with his statement that political violence may be necessary to protect democracy? And a third of the people at the People's March said they agreed or strongly agreed with that statement, which is a huge shift from what we have seen. Back during the American Values Survey, the last time they fielded it was only 8% of Democrats. And let me just say, at the People's March, it was 93% of the people in the crowds voted for Kamala Harris. So these are Democrats.
Yeah.
And they are starting to shift their opinion. So that's the thing I'm worried about. But I'm not saying we have enough people in the streets right now. I'm saying there are enough people who are starting to feel threatened that they're going to push back.
That's a massive problem, right? This is a massive problem. So what we have here is quite literally a lot of the people, a lot of the Democrats, a lot of these leftists are actively wanting political violence. So what do you do with people like this? You immediately take their word, what they're going to say, and arrest them. These people, as I said, are inherently violent people. They are not kind people. They are not good people, and it is terrible. And of course, we have if we go over here, we have a Tesla boycott. And the problem with that is that we have a Tesla boycott. It makes you really wonder, right? So the uncomfortable truth behind Tesla's falling stock prices is that these people are boycotting Tesla, right? And if we're going with this here, that Tesla is being boycotted by these people, which show that they are becoming inherently, well, as this woman says here, that they're becoming inherently violent. This is a problem in every regard, right? So I think what we have here is a serious issue. And I'm not going to go off to saying civil war with Tim Pool, but I am saying that these people need to be swiftly dealt with. And what I mean by swiftly dealt with, they need to be arrested and charged for the things that they say and do, specifically when they advocate for violence or do violence. And then they need to be put in jail for a very long time. Because as I said, and I keep on saying, these people are dangerous. They're violent. They should not be allowed to be roaming the streets if they're going to be committing these heinous crimes, right? Or doing these things. And Elon Musk's life is in danger here. And this is all due to just the complete insanity of the far left. And be careful, boys, because watch out where you're going. If you're in a left-wing city, probably just don't wear a shirt or whatever that's catering to Elon Musk or Trump. But just for your own safety. But if you're like me and you have the balls, I'm going to still do it whenever I get the chance, because screw these leftists, screw these people, because they're a danger to society. They're saying they're the ones that are the kind and good people, yet they're the ones that are constantly being the most violent. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.
Burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. You can cancel everything and everybody in it, but it's not your